Hey, what is up guys, Klassen here, and welcome to my first ever episode of Ask KX. Guess I should get into uniform. Alright, so the first question comes from username Snapback. I'm answering your question first because you were the first person to use the hashtag. Thank you, brother. So the question is, why did you go into education/kinesiology? And why did you choose to be a gym teacher versus a personal trainer or something similar? So this is a really great question actually, and a great question to start off the series. This is a question I actually think about like every single day. I'm always criticizing my choices and what my choices are going to lead to and what the long-term effects of my choices are going to be. Now, I wanted to go into kinesiology and phys ed in the first place because I really didn't know who I was for a lot of my life. I struggled to find identity. Growing up, everyone in my family was an athlete except for me. I hated that crap. I hated sports. My parents put me in all these sports and I hated it. My brother and my parents just excelled. They got awards and all that, and I was just kind of like chubby and I didn't really like to do any of that stuff. So I like to play guitar and I like to draw and stuff, and like that was my thing. I really did not like athletics. It wasn't until high school when my body was developing into the body type it was going to be. Is what happens in high school. A lot of people find out what their body types are. And I was a tall guy. I wasn't like fat, but I was starting to get chubby. I hadn't rejected the idea of athletics. I just wasn't a fan until I joined the football team in grade 11. Grade 10, I was kind of on the fence about it, but grade 11, I finally decided to join. When I got to the field, I was so nervous. I was so scared because I had no idea what I was doing. I'd never played football before. So I went to the coach and I'm like, well, where should I go? And then he's like, put your feet together. So I put my feet together, and then he told me to jump as high as I could. And then I just put my feet together and I jumped. So he saw that I was a big guy, but I was like very light on my feet. So he sent me with the D lineman. That's when I realized like, wow, there's a sport for me. There's a sport for my body type. I didn't think that I was cut out to be an athlete. So through high school football, I developed my character. I developed who I am. I learned the lessons and the values of working hard and reaping the benefits and what it really means to sacrifice yourself for the things that you love. And I found that in high school sports. Now, a big influencer in my life would have been my phys ed teacher because he was the head coach as well. And he taught us integrity and toughness. That was the underlining of everything that we did. He didn't want us to go break people's necks on the field. It was about playing as hard as you could, but being a respectable athlete. And that really rang true to me. Like, I really loved that, and I really bought into it and attached to it. And I really respected my phys ed teacher. And I really loved phys ed class. I tried really hard in phys ed. I was one of those try-hard kids that you kind of got annoyed with. But the point is that I was learning who I was in phys ed. I didn't like sitting through math. I didn't like sitting through biology. I hated classrooms and sitting there and just absorbing information. Ironic because I went on to spend the next 4 to 7 years of my life in university, but I really didn't buy into anything that was there except for art. So after I graduated in grade 12, I'm like, well, I really like phys ed. I really bought into it. I really loved what my phys ed teacher, his influence on me, and I want to be able to do that for other kids. So I decided that I'm going to go into a Bachelor of Phys Ed at the Faculty of Kinesiology, direct entry, and I just started going into it. It's about a 6-year program if you want to get a kinesiology degree and an education degree. So I've spent a lot of time sitting in classrooms and a lot of time thinking, do I really want to be spending all this time in a classroom? Is this really going to be worth it? Then I started going into practicum and I started, being in the gym environment and seeing what it's like to be a phys ed teacher. And then I guess my love for health and fitness has just developed more and more and more every year. And I started doing my own research, and then I decided and then I got myself into shape, and then I lost like 60 pounds. And I started training, and then I just loved training. And then I found other influencers the big one was Strength Camp with Elliot Hulse. And I thought you know what, this is what I can do. I can give back. This is going to be my outlet, my way of giving back to the fitness community. Because my phys ed mindset was to give back by going into phys ed and hopefully influencing kids like I was influenced, helping them find themselves through phys ed. So then I got my personal training certification. I took some extracurricular courses just to further my knowledge, and I'm just always learning more in kinesiology. The more that I researched and the more that I studied, I kind of realized that I kind of wanted to go into business, right? I kind of wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to open up my own gym. I really wanted to take Klassen exercise and take it to the next level. I really wanted to make this YouTube channel something big, something to show for, something that could reach a lot of people. And if I were to drop out of school, do YouTube full time, It's undeniable that the channels that post regular videos like every single day get the best results. They grow the fastest. But that's not a reality that I can do. And if I did want to go investing in buildings and stuff like that to build gyms and studios, I would have to invest money into that. But I had already invested all my money into schooling. So I spent a couple of years thinking like my heart was kind of pulling me in one direction, but my head and my mind was taking me in the other one, pulling and pulling and pulling, and I just didn't know which way to go until I kind of figured out a way to align them and align my paths. So if you've been keeping up with my videos, you know that I've made a bit of a 15-step plan as to how I'm going to be in university but also build my business on the side. So that's kind of where I am right now. I'm still in school to be a phys ed teacher, but I'm getting my kin degree this year. And then ultimately, I still want to be a phys ed teacher, but I just don't know if I'm going to be okay with committing the rest of my life to it. There's still a lot of mental barriers that I'm trying to get through, and it's going to be hard for me to know if I really like it if I'm not there and teaching and living it and experiencing it. So right now it's kind of up in the air whether I'm going to like being a phys ed teacher or not. But I have this Klassen exercise on the side. You can't tell yet, and you'll see soon enough, but this is soon going to be a business. This is soon going to be something big. If you're keeping up with my YouTube videos, you're kind of keeping up with my journey, which I think is super cool. So the short answer to this question is I wanted to be a phys ed teacher to influence kids the way that I was influenced and help them find their identity through phys ed, and that's something that's not offered by every phys ed program. That's not how all gym teachers are. A lot of gym teachers don't care, just like the kids. It's just a lot of heart and soul and passion could be put into the phys ed program, and there's just a lot of teachers that don't. Now there's a lot of good teachers that really believe in what they're doing, but I've seen a lot of teachers that are the polar opposite, and I've seen the way that they talk to kids, and I've seen the way that the kids, because of phys ed, hate activity, and they hate anything that has to do with health and fitness. They shut down because they think of phys ed, and they think of that time that they got embarrassed in gym class and the time that the gym teacher called them out, and they have all this anger built up. And I kind of want to help kids, not even if they don't find themselves, just to not have that experience, so they graduate not like hating physical activity. That's why I wanted to be a phys ed teacher and why I went into kinesiology. But then I kind of hit this crossroads of like, do I want to go full speed into personal training or full speed into teaching? And I really didn't, I couldn't commit to one. I couldn't just pick one. So I had to find a way to connect them. That's kind of where I am right now. My paths have parted and they've returned. I'm gonna keep going on this course that I made, kind of made a foolproof plan. And if that falls off, I can know that I have this one road or I have the other road. And if phys ed teaching falls off, I know that I can still go the other way. So in conclusion, I guess I never really chose one over the other. Your career doesn't have to make you who you are. And I struggled with that for a long time, but I kind of figured that out. And now I'm not worried and stressed about it like I was before. A kid was keeping me up every night. Now I can go to sleep knowing that I have a plan and knowing that I'm not committed. Like, I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket. If that basket falls through, I'm not screwed. So anyways, I hope that answers your question, Snapback, and thank you for leaving your comment. Hope you guys enjoyed this first episode of Ask KX. They're not all going to be long life stories, but I thought this was a really good question to start off the series with. Stay tuned for more videos. If you liked it, leave a like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Klassen out.